You're listening to the Multiverse Fancast, proud member of the Misfit Faction Media Network.
All right then, on with the show.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Multiverse Fancast. Don't forget, if you guys are listening to us on the go, you can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, basically anywhere you guys get your podcasts. You can also find more of our content on our website, themisfitfaction.com. There you find links to not only this show, but some of our other shows like Cinematic Adventures and MF Uncensored. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Paul, and we have a very special episode for you guys today. So, going back a little bit, a lot of you guys know our show has been around for quite some time, and we've had a lot of different adventures, a lot of different topics, and a lot of different people on the show. We also have another show, though, called MF Uncensored, which a lot of you guys who have been listening to us have heard us talk about. So we have a ton of new listeners today because we are one of Podbean's featured podcasts of the month. Again, big thanks to Podbean for helping us out with that. And to all of our new listeners, welcome. We're happy to hear from you. We're happy to talk to you. We're happy to interact with you. So make sure you guys send us messages, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. But we thought it'd be a nice little treat to kind of mix two of our shows together. A while back, we did an interview with the writers of Toking with the Dead, Jeff and Ben, and they broke down creating their entire comic book series, and what better place to share that than here on the show with you guys, for those who haven't heard our MF Uncensored show. So I decided to take that episode and work it into this one. So after the break, you guys are going to get a chance to hear one of our interviews from MF Uncensored with comic book writers Jeff and Ben, the creators of the Toking Dead. Hope you guys enjoy. Hey guys, it's Paul, and the Misfit Faction is looking for your help. We are trying to grow not only our network, but also grow our brands, and the best way to do that is if you guys are looking to start your very own podcast. Maybe you guys have been listening to us for a while, maybe it's something you guys have always wanted to do, but you're not sure how to get started. If you go to podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys will get a month of free podcasting set as a gift from us. So make sure if you guys are looking to start your own show, you reach out to us and go to podbean.com/misfitfaction. Also, maybe you guys have your own online business or service that you're always looking to grow, and advertising is a very big part of that. If you guys go to sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys can get $100 worth of free advertising, again, as a thank you from us to you guys. That's sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of MF Uncensored. Don't forget, if you guys are listening to us on the go, you can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and basically anywhere you get your podcasts. Also, you can find us at our website, themisfitfaction.com. There you'll find links to all of our different resources and all of our different content, including all of our other shows, not just MF Uncensored, but also the Multiverse Fancast, if you guys are looking for more comic book stuff, or Cinematic Adventures, if you guys are movie fans like us. You can also find our brand new store there, the Misfit Faction store. It contains new t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, stickers, and hopefully some more in the near future, so make sure you guys check that out. We're going to be rotating through our catalog every couple of months, so make sure you get your swag now while it's there. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Paul, and I'm just doing the intro for you guys today. We have an awesome interview today. This one is a little bit different for us because it's definitely a lot of fun. So we sat down with two gentlemen, and they're by the names of Ben and Jeff. And Ben and Jeff, they started their very own comic book series called Toking with the Dead, and it is exactly how it sounds. And we had such a great time talking to them. We talked about building their comic book brand, building their business, and their dealings with AMC and The Walking Dead and the lawsuits that they had to deal with, and them beating them, which was fantastic to hear about. It's such an interesting and unique story. So we're really excited to share it with you guys. Now, also, don't forget, if you guys are looking to start your very own podcast, you can use our affiliate link, podbean.com/misfitfaction, to get a free month of podcasting on us. Guys, podcasts are one of our favorite things to do. Obviously, you guys have been here. You know how passionate we are about them. They're not only just a fun hobby for us, but also a great way for us as friends to stay together and do things with each other more and more. So if you guys are looking to start your own show, you guys have maybe got that itch, that desire, that maybe I can do this. If you guys use that link, podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys get a free month of podcasting on us. And if you guys are looking to start your own show, let us know. We are always looking for new content to add to our website, add to our network. So please reach out to us, talk to us. We'll even help you get started. Or maybe you have your own personal business, online service, something that you provide, and you're looking to advertise to new people. Guys, podcasts are everywhere. There's literally millions of them. And if you guys are looking to reach a broader audience with your own service, if you go to sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction, you'll get $100 worth of free advertising. Again, that's a gift from us to you guys. And I cannot start the episode without mentioning our favorite energy drink, Raise Energy. If you guys have listened to any of our shows over the past couple of months, we are big fans of Raise. In fact, Ronnie just got married this past weekend. If you guys don't know Ronnie, well, what are you even doing? He is the co-founder of the Misfit Faction and the host of Multiverse Fan. He just got married. We have pictures of us with Raise Energy at the ceremony. So please, if you guys are looking for an afternoon pick-me-up or looking for something to get you through that hard workout, go to repsports.com. That's REPP sports.com and use our code MISFIT89 at checkout to get 20% off your order. Now that all that stuff is out of the way, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are sitting down with the gentleman behind Toking with the Dead. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to MF Uncensored. If you guys are listening to us on the go, you can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Paul. With me is Rob. Rob, how are you today?
I'm excited to be invited to this show. This is going to be a lot of fun today.
Oh, really? And why do you say that,
We've
Rob?
got some really special guests that are going to talk about comic books and zombies and all sorts of good stuff, so I cannot wait.
Well, way to spoil it. Now everybody knows what we're talking about today. Jeez, the whole episode's over.
Some of my favorite things to talk about.
I like your shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I've got Monroeville Zombies on today from Kevin Smith's store.
So we have on the show with us, we're very lucky, we have Ben and Jeff from Toking with the Dead. Ben, Jeff, how are you guys doing today?
Fantastic.
Neither one of us talk.
There's
Fucking
hesitation there.
It's a Saturday morning. It's like 8 degrees outside. My balls are in my chest. So yeah, we're doing great.
And
we appreciate you having us on the show. And
Yeah, what he
we
said.
got a lot of shit we can tell you.
So, it's funny for us because when we do interviews, usually there's just one person we're talking to. So now I'm really excited to see the dynamic with, 4 voices going on all at once over Zoom.
So you guys have Toking with the Dead is the name of your show. Tell us a little bit about that show and how you guys got there. I know that's a long, big umbrella question there, so I'll let you interpret that however way you want.
We got there because we were stoned and drunk on a beach in St. Lucia with our wives.
St. Lucia.
So that kind of sums it up. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, yeah, there was weed involved too, because we hooked up with some local families on the island, and we were also able to get high, so that made it even more fun.
Oh yeah, I've been down there, so I know what it's like. So yeah, absolutely, it's a free range.
Yeah, I mean a quick brief synopsis on it is, Ben and I have known each other for over 35 years, and a long time ago we started an apparel business trying to promote the positive aspects of cannabis and hemp.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Life happened, so that got put on the side burner. But as kids grew up, more Ben's kids, because I don't have any. We decided, all 6 of them. We decided to revisit it, and we came up with this idea to redo the apparel.
Okay. And what was on some of the apparel? Was it comic book based at the time, or was it just in terms of promoting cannabis and its benefits?
In terms of promoting cannabis, like an acre of trees produces the same amount of paper as 3 acres of hemp.
Right.
So it was all factual, and back then like Jeff said, we didn't really have the internet. It was just starting off. It was like the, beep, dial up bullshit. And we advertised in like High Times magazine, and we sold a little bit of the apparel, but like he was saying, we were down on the beach and we kind of revisited it because I had found my folder with all the old pictures and stuff, and we were chatting, and I said, weed is decriminalized. We could take weed and put it with one of the other biggest things going right now, which is zombies, which has always been big in horror, and kind of combine the two, and we spiral off of each other constantly. And
so did that come from a love of comic books or love of horror?
Well, the
came from the love of
comic
weed.
book, yeah, the comic book wasn't even in our mind at this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The way that happened was, we had the apparel, and in order to sell anything like that, you need to associate it with something.
Mm-hmm.
So both Ben and I are writers, so we decided to actually write a book.
Okay.
Okay. So it started off as a book. We got through the first couple of chapters of it, and I believe it was my brother that we showed it to.
Yeah.
And his first comment was, this is dumb as fuck. And then he said it would make a great comic book.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We knew nothing about comic books. I mean, I'm a woodworker.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's what I do.
Houses, so.
Okay. All right.
So it just kind of, we looked at each other and be like, what the fuck? Let's see what we can do.
Okay. And at this time, was it still based on a similar concept that I know the comic book eventually grew into, or was it based in just like horror and just weed?
The basic premise of the entire story is trying to help break the stigma of cannabis. Mm-hmm. So it's written as a fun way to try to educate through adult humor the positive effects of cannabis.
Years to get him to fucking say it that way.
From a medicinal point of view.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I use it medicinally every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody thinks, oh, weed, cannabis, oh, you fuckers, you just want to get high. It's like, no.
So for our listeners who aren't familiar too much with the medicinal elements, what are some of them?
Oh, it helps with everything. I use CBD and CBG daily for my sciatic back pain. Mm-hmm. Okay. I use topicals. I have knee issues and stuff like that. And I'm telling you, it really, really makes a difference.
Okay.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. In an actual zombie apocalypse, I would not want to be sober for any of it.
No. High seems to be the way to go if you're going to go into a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
But yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of benefits to it, and you're right. It is sort of, there is that stigma to it that it's like, only unemployed, potheads are interested, and they just want to hang out and be lazy and eat Cheetos. Whereas it's actually, there's a great deal of medicinal benefits to it. Absolutely.
Right. It's a big business too. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is starting to boom. I mean, there's doctors, there's lawyers, every genre of person, is getting involved with this. And once they learn the benefits of it, my 85 mother-in-law uses it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? She uses the CBD for her joints and her pains and this, that, and the other, just like I do.
Yeah.
It took a long time to convince her because,
well,
I was growing plants on my deck, and my 80-year-old father-in-law came over. And I'm like, "We're going on vacation. You got to take care of my plants." Oh, Jesus Christ! That's the marijuana.
Yeah, it's. I think generationally, it's a little bit misunderstood too. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
It's funny because nowadays
exactly.
it's much more culturally acceptable. Like, you go into New York City or Connecticut just legalized it by us, and it's normal. You see people walking down the street, you see people walking into shops, and
yep.
I mean, there used to be a point where you'd be like, well, what is that stoner doing out here?
Yeah. So now I know you guys are based in Massachusetts. What are some of what does it look like up there in terms of dispensaries and just what are some of the laws up there?
It's legal.
Well, yeah.
Dispensaries are on every fucking corner, man.
Yeah. Dispensaries are popping up everywhere. It took a long time to get it off the ground because the CCC really made it difficult.
Mm-hmm.
They dragged their ass.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they're not doing it right. A lot of people feel as though it should be treated similar to like the way alcohol is treated.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that it should be
what I mean?
regulated
they should
like
fall
a
into the
vice.
same categories.
No,
you know what I mean? I mean, these people are spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars just trying to get through the process in order to open a business.
Yes, it is not easy, I imagine.
Well, it's funny because in Connecticut, when they legalized it, they tried to ban they wouldn't allow anybody to build dispensaries. So they're like, we're the good guys. We legalized weed. You can't buy it anywhere, though.
No.
So you can't transport it across state lines.
Right.
Yeah. There's still a lot. It's come a long way, but it's still a long way to go, it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll get there. It'll get there. And that's why Ben and I are doing what we're doing. You know, we wanted to get involved in the industry, but we didn't want to get involved in the industry.
Right. Yeah, because it's a slippery slope. Like, especially back in the 90s, early 2000s, like if you told somebody I want to get in the weed business, they would not accept it really as a legal form of business.
No.
Right. Well, I was in the weed business market. In college.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so you ended up having this horror book, and eventually at some point you decided it would be so much better as a comic book. So tell us about that process.
Well, like Jeff said, you know, we both are in construction form industries, so neither one of us knew anything about comic books.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, fuck it, Google it. So we Googled how to produce a comic book. And I'm like, well, we both have writers' backgrounds, so shit, we can storyboard this. So we sat down and we kind of started pulling from the book different storyboards and reached out online and found a great artist out in California named Eric Yep. The kid did an amazing job on the artwork. We worked together, you know, for 7 months getting this off the ground. And that's basically how it fucking started.
Wow.
Well, I don't know how. The cool thing is that because of what we're doing, you know, when the comic book came out, we didn't go into the cannabis world first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We went into the comic book world first. You know, and up in this area especially, we were the very first cannabis-based comic book to ever be at a Comic-Con.
Yeah, I got to say, it's a very unique idea and approach.
You know, well, the looks that we got from some people, and you know, it was just kind of bizarre. You know what I mean? But what we found out was that the comic book world, they're a bunch of geeks, you know, blah blah blah. But half of them are freaking stoners anyway. You know, so they really loved the idea. Yeah. And then when we went into the cannabis world and started doing some of these cannabis events, half of them are fucking geeks. We're walking around, they're talking about Spider-Man and the Hulk, and you know, so those two worlds we're bringing together.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it expanded into, you know, the music industry. So we, you know, we'll do, you know, we did, what was it, Stoner and Doom Fest.
Wow.
Which is a 3-day, that was a 3-day music event in Connecticut.
Okay.
With 40 bands, all like metal bands. And, you know, I mean, I felt a little out of my element, but, you know.
The best visual ever in my mind right now. Just you walk around. You guys want to hear my comic book? Just,
we were set up. So just like a con, they had a bunch of, wouldn't say a bunch, but they had some vendors there.
Right.
And they set us up next to the stage, next to the speaker.
Oof. Oh. Good visibility,
3 fucking days.
But in terms of hearing.
I mean, the cool thing is we got to meet a lot of great people, you know, from older bands that had new bands, you know, people from like Typo Negative and Corrosion of Conformity and things like that, which that was a good part of it, which is also a great part of what we're doing, because as Jeff said, in the multiple industries, like we found in the comic industry, there's a lot of stoners.
Yeah.
So we would have famous people and famous artists come up to us and be like, hey, you know, I'm from, you know, Alabama and I couldn't bring any weed. Can you get me some? And it's like, yeah, man, I can be your dealer, you know, and you forged great friendships that way,
oh, yeah.
Which allowed us to move very fast through the independent comic industry to the point where we are now.
Okay. So you were, at that time, you were self-publishing, or
we still are.
Still are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
everything we do is self-published.
Wow.
That's crazy, especially in a world where, you know, comic books are very strange because they've gone through this huge resurgence in the past couple of years. Like there was a time where, you know, the biggest companies were filing bankruptcy. I think Marvel filed bankruptcy like 2-3 times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And now we're in this golden age where comic books are taken as a much more serious form of entertainment. So to hear somebody who, you know, hear two guys who were self-publishing and doing really well, it's incredible to hear.
Oh, yeah. So, and then, all right, so then at this point, you're putting out your comics and you're hitting the zombie zeitgeist too, because everyone is into zombies at this point, you know? And that caused problems too for you, from what I understand.
Well, I try to look at it as it created two things.
Okay.
One, it created an opportunity to educate in something that we knew nothing about.
Good.
Which was how to defend ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And two, it took us across the country.
Okay.
Multiple countries.
Because the media, the exposure that we got because of the trademark dispute TMZ picked the story up.
I saw that, yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when that happens, it went across the U.S. It went all the way across Canada. There's articles in newspapers all over the place.
And this is,
Right.
we're talking
so that just
about,
gave us exposure.
we're talking about 2017 here, if I'm thinking
Actually,
correctly.
we launched it 2018.
Okay.
The trademark dispute started 2019.
Okay.
No. I'm going to correct
Okay.
you on that
Correct me.
because I know the exact dates.
Okay.
August 27th, 2017, we filed for our trademark. with
Okay.
the
Yeah, that's the
USPTO.
one date that I did
Okay.
see. Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe that's
Okay.
what it was.
All right. And
Now, when you
Within
when you
3
filed
weeks.
that, did you file that as a defense, or did you file that as, and this is something we always wanted to do?
yeah, we just filed it to get the trademark.
Okay.
on,
Yeah, we filed as a trademark.
What at that time was called the Toking Dead.
Yes.
That's the trademark that we filed. Within 3 weeks, we received a cease and desist letter from AMC and Robert Kirkman's attorneys out in New York
Okay.
to drop it.
Mhm.
They wanted us to just abandon the trademark. Hey, I'm from fucking Boston, dude. Don't ever fucking tell me what I can and can't do.
Now, they cited similarities in name, in theme, in both.
Exactly.
They were,
Yeah.
exactly. That's basically, they didn't like the fact that it was cannabis based for one. They said that we were going to tarnish their reputation.
Which, again, I assume comes from that ignorance of, the medicinal properties and the benefits.
Right.
Yeah.
But
right.
bashing somebody's skull in with a baseball bat is perfectly cool.
We don't want to tarnish our reputation, though, guys. They can't be high while
Right,
they do
right.
it.
Right.
They just didn't. They didn't at the time. They were bucking every single trademark application
Mm-hmm.
that had anything to do with the blanking,
The blank
dead.
dead.
Yep.
The golfing dead, the swimming dead, the running
Yeah.
dead.
I mean, we did a shitload of research.
Dozens
Right.
of them.
Yeah.
And you guys went in, from what I read, you guys didn't hire lawyers either. You went in defending yourselves,
Yeah.
Yes.
which
Yep.
is
We did all the
brave.
research. Yeah, we wrote all our own responses. And that went on for our initial response to that first letter they sent was basically go fuck yourself, but it was in a nice way.
Of
Yeah.
course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's up to
not
the
up
it's
to
up to the
you.
yeah.
It's up to the USPTO. So
Right.
that put it all to rest for about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Then the USPTO granted our trademark.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which if there's a problem, they shouldn't have done that then.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But they granted the trademark. And immediately it was opposed by Kirkman and AMC's lawyers.
okay.
And then that dragged on for 2.5 years till it went to the TTAB and all this kind of stuff. And ultimately, they revoked our trademark because there was a 16% chance that we may cause confusion.
That's oddly specific. 16%.
Yeah.
How do you correlate that?
I don't know how they calculated that. Yeah, seriously.
Somebody
You
with like
know,
an abacus
you know,
just
and-
sitting there.
At the time, Ben and I talked, we could have continued and, filed and,
Right.
what do you
appeal.
call it?
Yeah.
A rebuttal to it. And it's like, you know what? 2.5 years, it did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Mhm.
Yeah. It
Everybody
wasted
knew who we were.
it
Yeah,
wasted
it
a
raised-
shitload of their money.
Exactly. It raised
Yeah.
your profile. Everyone knew,
Right.
especially with TMZ
Right. And
picking
during,
it up.
and during that entire time, we geared up to make the switch in case we had to.
Mm-hmm.
So we were very well prepared.
Playing the
You know
long
what I
game.
mean? It took 24 hours for us to flip the name, change everything. We didn't lose one follower.
We
Not
gained
one.
more.
Right.
So the comic is still being published. It's just called now Toking with the Dead.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
That's funny.
Wow.
That's great.
Even
Like,
the logo looks the same.
It's funny how just the slightest little change and everyone suddenly is happy. And,
And they
Right,
signed
right.
off on it, so there's nothing they can do now.
Right.
it's down to a 3% chance of confusion. And that's acceptable.
Right.
Oh, that's-
Only if you're stoned.
Only if you're
Right,
stoned.
right.
So did you? So this is, and I read this somewhere that this literally was a David versus Goliath kind of fight here, because it's these big companies, these big lawyers. I'm sure Kirkman and was never in the room because he's got fancy people to that he can afford, so he doesn't have to be. And you two guys just fighting your own little fight for your comic, and it just doesn't seem fair.
I would have liked to have been. I would have liked to have been in the room when he got the bill from his lawyers for fighting us. 2.5 years, we wasted a shitload of his money, and we didn't spend a dime other than time.
Yeah.
And like Jeff said, we could have thrown a rebuttal in the ring and continued this on and continued it on and possibly won, but we had way too much going on in bigger things in our sites, and it was like, it's not worth it.
Absolutely.
Once you're dry fucked by a cactus without any lube, you learn and you move on.
That was so graphic. I loved it.
Well, I've used that reference since day one when people have asked what it was like. And that's how I sum it up. It's just that sentence.
Wow. So you're still running.
Jeff shaking his head at me. He's like, I can't believe you fucking really.
Well, it seems also just from talking with you guys that one of the benefits with working this is your relationship. Like, you guys just seem to have a nice, easygoing chemistry with one another too. And I'm sure that makes it easy to go, no matter how difficult the fight might be, it makes it a little bit easier when you're friends with, your creators. So,
well, right.
Yeah.
The thing is that it's like it's almost like a marriage. I mean, that may sound really weird.
No, it makes sense.
Hey,
no,
separate hotel rooms from now on.
It's almost like a marriage in the way that a good couple gets along, but you always have those periods of fighting, disagreement.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we've known each other for so long that it's easy just to work through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's really what makes it work. So, I couldn't do this myself. Ben couldn't do it himself. He's got his job and his things that he does that I just can't do.
Right.
And I have the other side of it and the things that I do. And you combine the two of them, and here we are.
Yeah.
It's like even doing a podcast, something as simple, like super simple. It was like, let's sit down and record our thoughts and then put it to the world. We already know, like, I do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. Rob's really good at creating structure for the episodes and very good interviewer. I'm just sitting here watching him at this point and watching you guys at this point. It's awesome. But like, I'm
having fun.
It's great to see teams, where if one person does something really well, the other person does something really well, and they work together.
They complement each other.
And they cover each other for the things that they maybe have struggles with.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see such a great dynamic between the two of you guys.
So what's the future of the comic now?
Oh, to keep going.
Yeah. Now, is it a consistent storyline? Is it in like one shots?
No, it's a consistent storyline starting off, of course, with issue 1. We just released issue 5.
Wow.
Which actually wraps up the first hardcover book.
Oh, wow.
So we're moving into the second hardcover book, more comics. But from that, we were able to spin when COVID hit and the world shut down. We spun it into, let's kick out 2 comics this year and start filming a fucking TV series. So, like I mentioned earlier, we became very good friends with a lot of people in the industries. I'm glad you guys are recording this so you can cut that shit.
We'll handle that in post.
Who will? What's that?
And Jeff and I became very good friends with Bill Diamond from Diamond Productions down in New York. Best known for all his work with Jim Henson, 3-time Emmy Award winner for so many things. And he graciously took it on after 3 years of me badgering him.
Yeah. Well, when we first met him, he saw the entertainment value. Okay. He saw the entertainment value of what we were doing. We weren't ready. That's all he kept telling us. You're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready. He needed to see us prove to him that we weren't a flash in the pan, that we were serious about what we were doing. And if an obstacle gets in the way, you either go around it, over it, through it, or under it.
Yes.
I prefer to go through it. Jeff used to prefer to go through it until he started filming and he got a concussion. So now he goes around it.
It comes with age. I understand that one.
Yeah, I resemble that remark.
Yeah, you do.
It does suck sometimes that we don't do video. We got to start doing video.
So take us through just, some of the basic storyline beats of the comic. From my understanding, it's a zombie apocalypse. There is a dispensary that the zombies come across. Am I right so far?
Pretty much. So basically, we weren't really thinking about this when we started it. We were like, dude, it'd be cool to make ourselves the main characters in this comic. Let's do it. Nobody does that.
No.
They portray themselves through another character. And I'm like, fuck it. We'll just do it ourselves here, blah, blah, blah. And long story short, we, quote, own a dispensary in the comic book. End of the world happens. We don't know what the fuck's going on. Counterpart, Piper, who is a 6-foot redheaded lesbian that works the counter at the dispensary, comes into play. And through various things, Jeff and I become infected.
Okay.
And we wake up one morning and we now look like the zombies outside, but we are fully functioning. And the only thing we can attribute it to is the amount of cannabis intake from owning the dispensary. Kind of spins through the whole medicinal and the teaching aspect.
It's a creative approach. I like it.
And then, I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, we discovered in trying to fight off, these zombies and stuff, that if you get a zombie high or give them cannabis in any form, they don't want to eat you anymore.
It makes sense.
They want cupcakes, Twinkies, and stuff like that. But when they come down, they realize that they liked the effect and they liked how they felt. So now they want more weed. That's why they're coming after us. So there's the regular zombies that want to eat your face off, and then there's the other zombies that we've gotten high that just want to come and steal all our dope, and that ain't gonna fucking happen.
So that's the basic premise behind it.
And throughout the comic, there's little statements informational boxes. This strain is good for nausea, and this one will help you with the pain that you just felt. And I got bit here. Let's put some of this oil on there. It'll help it heal faster. So those are the little things that we're putting into it.
And is that being incorporated into the show as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Now, do you guys try and stay away, though, from some of the, the stoner stereotypes? Like, oh, man, I really want all these chips right now. Oh, I just want to watch cartoons. A lot of people, when they think, you embrace them.
It's part of that's part of the stoner humor within the comic, because you've got to have that stoner humor.
Right.
Right. But we're on a mission. Our basic mission in the comic is to try and cure the zombieism.
That's funny.
That's what we're
trying to cure ourselves, because we went from ugly to super fucking ugly. So
that's good.
Oh, that's great. And so at what stage is the show at right now?
As far as the filming aspect goes,
correct.
Issue 1 came out last year. I want to say, I don't even remember, fucking August, September. Issue 2 was just released 2 days ago. Issue 3 is 90% filmed. Issue 4 is about 20% filmed.
And it's
the beginnings of it.
Animated filmed or live action filmed?
Live action.
Oh no, we're the stars.
Oh wow, okay.
So that's why I said we didn't really think about this when we put ourselves as the main characters, because when we talked to Bill about it, he's like, so if this was gonna be done, like, who would you think would play you? And we were like, us.
Who knows you better than you?
Us. And you go, you guys aren't fucking actors. And we go, no shit. We're just gonna act like we normally do.
We're not comic book writers either. So
right. And that worked out though.
Right.
We're just gonna kind of do it the same way that we've always interacted with each other. And Jeff and I are quick-witted when it comes to each other and off of each other.
Right.
So as you watch it, when we do our dialogue, that's just like normal interaction for us.
Right.
And
it's funny and dumb as fuck is basically how I explain it.
Speak for yourself.
And Bill,
I'm sexy as hell.
Bill looks at Ben and I almost like a new Abbott and Costello.
Oh, wonderful.
Just in the way that we interact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're familiar with Abbott and Costello,
absolutely,
you watch those old shows, they're dumb as fuck.
Oh yeah.
But they're funny as hell.
Yeah,
and that's basically what we're trying to do here.
Well, I think it's special, it's like doing, like I said, I keep referring to, doing a podcast. If I did a podcast with somebody and there was no chemistry, then just dead air the entire time.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
you do a podcast.
Trust me, we know.
Bounce off of each other.
So it's good to have somebody who gets your sense of humor and gets how to build off of it. Because to some people, you may not be funny at all, but to your best friend, you're always funny.
Yeah.
And it's a great back and forth that you guys already
and
seem
usually
to have.
to your own mother, you're funny too.
Oh no, not my mother.
Yeah, sometimes not so much.
Right.
So where can we see these shows? How can our listeners find these shows and download them and watch them?
Nowhere.
You were wait. I figured you were going to jump right in there because you always do. They can go to they can go right to stilltoking.com.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you want to know about us is on there, including episode 1 and episode 2 links. So you can just click on it, but they're on Vimeo on demand because realistically, it costs a lot of fucking money to make them.
Oh, I bet.
So, that's kind of just where they are right now. Once in a while, if you pay attention to our social media, our Facebook pages and things like that, we will run little specials here and there. And we say, hey, on YouTube for the next, 30 days, you can watch it for free.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
how wonderful. And that's Toking with the Dead on Facebook.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Toking with the Dead on Facebook and stilltoking.com.
Stilltoking.com.
Right.
Yeah, we'll make
Right.
sure.
The name of the name of the company is Still Toking Enterprises.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of the company. Our
That's
live
awesome.
show is Still Toking with.
Yeah, see, they didn't even ask us about our live show because they don't want to. They don't want us to take their listeners.
No, please.
We believe in synergy here. Yeah, you also have your own podcast and broadcast show at stilltoking.com. Now, how can we listen to those shows?
So, Still Toking with is on 12 platforms worldwide when we run live, and then it's recorded down and it's on all the platforms that we run. So you can go to YouTube, you can go to Facebook, you can go to stilltoking.com and go under Still Toking with and see all our past broadcasts.
Oh, that's awesome.
All the links are there. You can watch every single episode from number 1 2 years ago.
Yep.
That's great.
Or you can go, it's on IMDb. If you're a podcast person and you don't watch the videos, you can go to any one of the 19 podcasts that are relevant and find us.
Oh,
and that means, every single one of them. iHeart, friggin' Pandora, Spotify,
It's
over in the
crazy
UK,
right now.
Deezer, Podchaser. We're on all the platforms.
Every platform. I love it.
Every single platform you can find.
Well, it used to be like when you made like a podcast or made anything, it was, mom's basement, one camera, one microphone, one place to put it. Now I can listen to even our podcast. I can listen to our podcast on 14 different stations. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that also helps like guys like you who you're not on a major network, you're not anything like that, but like here's our product, we can share it with people and people want to see it. And it's awesome right now.
It's exposure.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Right. I didn't even want to do this fucking show.
No, he
live
didn't.
Broadcast,
He wanted nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
Oh,
And that was all me. It was a quick story real fast. It was December 2019. Actually, it was November 2019. We were at a con and I was chatting with a friend of ours, Philo Barnhart, who is a Disney legend. He was one of the creators of The Little Mermaid, worked on The Secret of NIMH. He was on
wow.
The Rescue is Down Under. He worked for Hanna-Barbera. And him and I were chatting and he said, it's the 30th anniversary for The Little Mermaid. I've done 4 podcasts and not one of them has aired. Really? And I said, you serious? Jeez. Like they just didn't think it was relevant.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that just doesn't make sense. So I went to our producer, Leo Pond, on the Dorkening Podcast Network. Shameless plug.
No, that's fair. Plug away.
And I said, listen, I got an idea. I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. So I called Jeff and I pulled the heartstrings. Yeah. And I said, man, we got to do this for Philo because he deserves this. Not only that, it was the 40th anniversary for the original Star Trek, which he also worked on.
Wow. So
I kind of forced Jeff out of his element into doing the live show, and we had a blast.
That's awesome.
So that January, we were like, let's do it every couple of weeks and see how it goes. Did a couple of more shows, and then COVID hit, and I'm like, well, people are going to be watching. We got to stay relevant. And we decided to go every week, and the guest list just kept getting better. Now I deal with 7 PR firms and agents across the world.
Wow.
That are literally beating down our door to get on the show.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, we really wish you guys all the best of luck with your show, with your comic, with everything. And yeah, Ben and Jeff, this has just been. We really enjoyed this. This is, you clearly have a very bright future, and you fought to get there, and we admire that tremendously. So,
and you will be hearing from us again to get you guys back on the show. This was fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's good. That's because it's only a 45-minute show. We got 4 years worth of shit to talk about.
Oh, we'll definitely get you back on. This is awesome.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. We are out of time, so you guys will be.
Yeah, Ben and
All
Jeff,
right,
thanks
thank
a
you
lot.
very much.
You take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, you too.
Man, I gotta really upgrade that Zoom, huh?
Yeah.
They were fantastic.
They were fun.
They were a lot of fun. I can't wait, to hear more from them. It's like talking to like friends, like buddies.
Yeah.
Like just
absolutely.
Really chill, really cool, just like bros.
Yeah, they clearly have a nice chemistry with one another, and they've got a lot of great product out there too in terms of their comic, their merchandise, their podcast, and everything. So yeah, again, we want to plug them. That is Toking with the Dead. They can be on the Dorkening Podcast Network. You can check them out, as you said, on Vimeo with their videos. You can check them out. How can you get their merchandise?
Stilltoking.com is their website.
And they've got a lot of really great stuff on there. So yeah, absolutely. So thank you for finding them and bringing them on the show.
Thank you for doing all the research and handling most of the interview. No, seriously, we said during it, it's great to have a team of people that do things. A lot of these interviews I've been doing kind of solo, mostly because scheduling. Scheduling's been the biggest hassle and process that we've been learning. But we all bring something different to the show. Yeah. Ronnie brings a lot of structure to the show.
Right.
Sean brings so much knowledge. You bring great questions and great structure to like how the show flows. And I bring a lot of nerdy shit. Like all the nerdy shit. You also do really good research.
Oh, thanks.
I am terrible with this.
That's my passion. I like delving in and seeing it. And these, I have to say, I've spending the past couple of days looking into these guys and what they've been doing and everything. It's very admirable, that they were able to take so much, like even just talking to them and saying they had and that was amazing. They had no background in comics whatsoever, and they, just were in writing, and both of them are in carpentry and woodworking.
Yeah.
And to be able to churn out material like this is amazing. So.
And it's also a great idea.
Oh yeah.
Like as much as you and I love the traditional zombie type stories, I think it's kind of fucking hilarious.
And I honestly, I could talk another hour with these guys easily.
Oh, absolutely.
So we'll have to have them back on.
I'll upgrade Zoom just for that. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. That was a lot of fun. As always, Paul.
I'm Rob.
And we'll be back next time. Hey guys, thank you again for listening to that interview. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. It was something that we were very proud of and something that we really enjoyed doing. Those guys are great, so make sure you check out some of their material. But I cannot end an episode without one of our favorite features, Fan Feedback Friday. So this week, what was the worst superhero casting ever? So we had some interesting answers to this one. We had Howard the Duck, the original animatronic one, Nick Cage as Ghost Rider, Shaq as Steel, Seth Rogen as the Green Hornet, my friend Anthony, who I actually saw today, ironically enough, so big shout out to him, Chris Pratt as Super Mario, our friend Alex, who we're dying to get on the show, hopefully he's going to get on soon, James Marsden as Cyclops, Halle Berry as Storm, matter of fact, let's just say the whole Fox X-Men universe, and of course George Clooney as Batman. So if you guys are looking to participate in Fan Feedback Friday, it's super easy. All you have to do is go to Facebook, type in the Multiverse Fancast every Friday between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fan Feedback Friday will pop up, so make sure you guys participate. It's always a good time. And don't forget to check out all of our social media. We are on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Just type in the Multiverse Fancast or the Misfit Faction. Odds are you'll find some of our stuff. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. It really helps out the show, and we want to, again, thank you to all of our new listeners. Make sure you guys go to our website, themisfitfaction.com, to check out some swag and get your Multiverse Fancast shirts. All right. Thank you guys for listening. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we will be back in a flash.